Buruma, and this is my colleague Marieke van Eyck. We both work at Krak and D'Oliveira lawyers, human rights lawyers, and we have been involved in the case of the LTTE against its listing on the European Union terrorism list since its very beginning in 2010. And we're very happy that now, after 7 years, the decision has been reached by the Grand Chamber of the Court of Justice in Luxembourg that the listing of the LTTE has to be annulled. And Marieke shall give a bit more information about that decision.
Yes, the court ruled that one of the most important failures in the listing decisions is that the Council of the European Union didn't come up with anything to substantiate its argument that after May 2009 the LTTE would have had the aim to commit terrorist acts. So it's really a judgment on the substance. It also ruled that the Council of the European Union could not base itself on information from the state of India without verifying that the rights of the defense and the right to effective judicial protection of the LTTE have been guaranteed. They didn't, the Council of the EU didn't come up with information to prove that these rights were indeed respected in India. So this is a very important ruling, and the question, of course, is what will be the end result. By the end of August of this year, so in about 1 month, the Council of the European Union has to decide what they're going to do, whether they are going to relist the LTTE despite this judgment. And if they do so, then they have to come up with information from after May 2009, from which it would appear that the LTTE would commit acts that they classified as terrorism. But so far they didn't come up with any information after May 2009. So where we were discussing, of course, the regulations to keep the LTTE on the EU list from 2011 till 2015. And in all these decisions, there was not any information from after May 2009. So it would be very strange, I think, if there will be a decision in which now they come up with information after May 2009.
Is that enough information, or would you like me to explicitly name the
one
European
simple question
I'm sorry.
is
The listing on the European Union list no longer holds up. In as far as the LTTE is also listed in member states, aside from, independently from the listing on the European level, the member states are not obliged to delist the organization, because the delisting already took place on the European Union level, but that's not something that needs to be implemented or followed in as far as countries have an independent listing. However, should in a country the LTTE be listed, I think the arguments used by the court are very persuasive to fight a listing on the national level. And even though, of course, we are no lawyers in all the member states, I think, or rather we are, but we're not familiar with the systems in all the member states. I think that for a judge it would be quite difficult to allow a listing on information from before 2009 after the European Court of Justice has said that actually for the listing you need information from after 2009. So no, the member states don't need to implement it directly if they have an independent listing, but I think that any independent listing could very well be argued against with this decision.
Exactly, I agree. And I think that actually there are not so many member states that have an independent listing, because that is actually the result of the European listing, that member states don't have individual listing of the LTTE. They can have listings of individual persons, but not of the organization.
But for example, the UK has a listing.
Yeah, UK.
And
that's the, I think, the only one.
Yeah,
actually.
But that listing, I would think, this case is a very good argument to say that listing should be annulled as well. but it's not a direct result of this court
it's
decision.
not an automatic.